Alright guys, so it's been a few weeks obviously since the latest update has been released, and hopefully there's a new one in the works before the end of the year, but I wanted to use this opportunity to just share a little bit of some of the issues that I think the game is still experiencing that still needs a bit more work here and there. Overall, it's in a really good place. If you want to jump back in, now is a great time, but there are still a few things that I think are definitely could be better, balanced better, could be improved, polished off, and a few things that I think quality of life, just really easy additions that, for me anyway, would make the game properly a bit more playable. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, before we dive straight in, if you don't own Manor Lords, you can pick up the game with a massive 47% off on Instant Gaming, a reputable game key reseller that I've been using for a little while now. They have a great roster of games on sale like Ghosts of Tsushima, Helldivers 2, or even the entire Total War catalog, all with big discounts. So if you're thinking about buying, make sure to click the link below in the video description to get your games for cheap and support the channel at the same time. Now let's get back to the video. Alright, so I've got a lot of points to make. I'm going to make them as quickly as possible, whiz by through some of them. The first is production and storage and distribution. So it is in a much better place. The update has helped balance things out a lot. You know, this is a machine, and each of these elements, distribution, storage, production, these are cogs in the machine that need to be working in tandem together to provide the full economic output of your town, or if you have multiple towns, your kind of multi-region economy. But there are areas where bottlenecking can still occur. It can affect trade houses, taverns not getting their ale, bowyers not getting their goods to produce. Like, all of this is still being affected in some areas, so there's still definitely some polishing to be done here. Like I said though, the overall balancing is there. There's nothing here that's actually going to remove the enjoyment of your gameplay experience. It's just, at times, there is some bottlenecking here. Some people that are doing something else off on the other side of the map and not actually distributing your goods, or marketplace not getting a certain product that you've been working on. Some of this happens occasionally. So there's just a bit of polishing that needs to be done, hopefully over the next few updates. Next up, we have livestock assignment and management, and especially management, because yes, okay, assignment is really important. You need to have animals that are correctly, functionally assigned to the buildings that you want them to actually go to. Sometimes, you'll have a farmstead where you've got the plowing technology unlocked, you've got the stables built, and you've assigned the livestock, but the oxen come from across the map in a different stables elsewhere. This is kind of minor issues really, but all of it actually, the point I'm trying to make is something that would be really easy to manage on a panel, just like you can see how much trade you're importing and exporting, where you can see what all your livestock is doing, who's actually managing them, where they're working, what buildings they're assigned to. That would be super helpful as well. So hopefully that's a feature that happens then in a future update as well. Now, especially with the introduction of food spoilage, I would say things like bread are more challenging to produce. Fish especially can be overdone a little bit, so they're not very overpowered at all. It takes a lot of fine balancing to get them to a place where they're consistently sustaining your economy. But other foods, like especially apples, if you can get through the first few years of waiting for them to finally sprout, they're really easy to produce, especially vegetables as well. Both of these products, if you dedicate dozens of houses to, can prop up your food economy really, really easily. The spoilage rates for apples, especially, in my opinion, are far too low. Now, the other side of this is meat and sausages. There is a particular feature in this game at the moment where if you have a rich deer deposit, you can have multiple hunting camps hunting in that deposit, and the number of deer there does not diminish nearly as fast as it should, which means you can easily exploit that, get hundreds and hundreds of meat going in your food economy here, which then, if you're importing salt or producing salt through a rich deposit, have sausages as well through butchers. It's a very easy way to prop up your food economy. I think these things definitely need to be tweaked and balanced a little bit, but again, overall, things are in a good place from a food economy perspective. Now, I've got a suspicion, guys. It's just a feeling, something I've experienced every now and then that kind of, I guess, creates a pattern of essentially what I'm going to describe as optimizing speed in this game. I think a lot of the things, all the mechanics, etc., work really well on normal. You can go about your day, people are doing their jobs properly, animals are moving around, buildings are producing what they should be producing on normal setting. But the faster you go and the higher population you have, I think the more, essentially that the game is trying to deal with all at the same time, manage all these people and animals all at the same time, the more things start getting stuck a little bit, the more the bottlenecking occurs as well. All the issues that I've talked about so far, I think, get even more prevalent on the faster settings with higher populations. So yeah, it's just a feeling I have. I think that the game is currently optimized towards normal speed a lot more than the faster settings. I think it's gotten better with each update, but it's just something that I've noticed. I'd love to hear actually what you guys think specifically about this as well. So if you agree with me or if you disagree with me and you think that, no, actually, I think things are working, you're just not maybe doing this correctly or yada yada, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this specifically in the comment section below as well. So please do let me know. Next up, I just want to mention recruitment and warfare really quickly. This is an area that obviously isn't as developed as the rest of the game, the town building and economy management. And therefore, I just want to mention it because I hope it does get a bit more development. It is very obvious that, it's just kind of easy to get some recruitment done and start engaging the Baron or bandits. And just easily when your fights, the AI is quite easy to exploit. The bandit camps especially are very easy to take down, get free treasury. Like, there are just things here that just don't seem like a lot of thought and design work has gone into just yet. So I'm hoping that this does get developed a bit further in the next few updates and get to a place where it's a bit more dynamic. You have a bit more challenging kind of circumstances, maybe together with a crime system or, rival towns. There's just something here that needs to give this side of the game a bit more engagement and interesting replayability. Finally, guys, I want to mention 2 quality of life additions in future updates that I'm hoping will make this game more replayable and immersive. That I think it's a bit of a shame that we haven't had so far. Obviously, the bulk of the development has been focused on bug fixing, balancing, the introduction of Unreal Engine 5, etc. All of that has been really good. A very, very positive direction, in my opinion. But map variation is something that a lot of people talk about. We've been limited to this single map since the release of the game for, a while now. People are getting a bit bored by this limitation, and, modders aren't able, I think, at the moment to create bespoke custom maps for this just yet. So I'm really, really hoping that over the next few updates, we get new variations of maps that add different types of terrain features. Maybe you've got a mountain here. How are you going to build a town around that mountain, or a coastline, etc.? So that's the first quality of life addition, more dynamic and kind of a variety of maps to choose from. And the other one is lighting. Okay, this is a bit more minor, but I think would go such a long way to make the day and night cycle of Manor Lords just look more beautiful and functional. I don't really engage with the day-night cycle myself, because when I do, night falls, the sun starts setting, and all of a sudden, I'm waiting for the lighting to come up, for torches, for fires to start, but it just doesn't. And I really think that's a massive, massive shame. I'm hoping that in a future update, we do get more lighting potential, more torches, fires, you name it, just to bring these villages and towns alive a bit. There needs to be a system of lighting implemented to really make, I think, the day and night cycle feature in Manor Lords a bit more functional. So that's the other quality of life addition. It is a bit more minor, of course, compared to the first one, but I think would go a long way to make this specific side of the game a bit more interesting and engaging. And that's it for today, guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about, the last update was really good. Don't get me wrong. The addition of fish, spoilage, really interesting, challenging mechanics, and other bits like Unreal Engine 5, crossbowmen, lots of really good stuff in the last update. Balancing especially is in a much better place over the last few updates, but there are still areas that could do with more polishing, more tweaking. There are quality of life additions that I think would be quite easy to implement and would make the game far more replayable and visually interesting to look at. So yeah, here are some of my kind of issues that I've experienced. Let me know if you've been experiencing the same kind of thoughts and feelings, or maybe you haven't. That's also fine as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel for more Manor Lords content just like this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the video if you did. And here's hoping that there is another update before the end of the year. We have less than 2 months to go, so possible, but if not, spring 2025 that addresses a lot of these issues. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.